This video sponsored by Netmarble. Yo, what's up guys, it's Powerbang. Welcome back to another Lineage 2 Revolution episode. We've got a whole slew of new items to talk about. A brand new update has just dropped towards the end of January, guys, and it is massive. We're talking the level cap going up to 180 instead of 120. Brand new zones unlocked, new elite dungeons, new world bosses, and a whole ton of change to Open and Fortress Siege. That is probably my personal favorite so far. We're going to talk about all of that this episode, but if you have not downloaded the game yet, if you're experienced but you kind of put it aside, come check out the link in the description to download it, guys. There is a lot that you're missing out on. I will go ahead and cover that now. First and foremost, you guys probably guessed it. For those of you that had finished the quest storyline, were maxed out and ran out of stuff to do, well, the main storyline is back. A whole new world of quests have opened up. Make sure you guys go ahead and complete those, get back to, the routine of doing your dailies and weeklies and all that good stuff, but enjoy the main storyline that will now level you up to 180, and that's the new level cap for Lineage 2 for this particular update. Now, there is a new zone called Jiran. Now, I apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit sick right now. I'm having a hard time actually talking, but I couldn't wait on this video because it is exciting, it's new, it's fresh, and I wanted to make sure that I got this out to you guys so you know what you're doing and what to aim for. So as you guys are cruising through Jiran, doing your storyline, going through your quest, you're going to notice some monster cores probably dropping. There are a ton of new monster cores that have been introduced as part of this new update. Collect them as you move along. You'll probably be stumbling across several new named monsters in the world, including brand new world boss Stenoa. Now, Stenoa is an absolute monster. She's got like 86 million hit points, can regenerate them super fast, and has a whole ton of crazy abilities that's designed to crush you and crush your friends. So you gotta attack her with a big group of people. It typically takes the whole world at the same time to decide, hey, let's go kill Stenoa. Everybody agrees, you show up, you take her down. Now, she does have a whole bunch of abilities that you guys need to know what they are and know what they do. That way you guys can stay out of trouble. First and foremost, on Stenoa's main ability, just her normal attack, she has an attack decrease debuff that is applied to you, which means if you get hit by Stenoa, you're going to do less damage in return. That's something to take note of. Try to avoid getting hit. Her next main ability is the Scale Enhance, which is basically every 20% of her hit points that are taken down. So when she gets to 80%, she has a Scale Enhance. And what this does is it increases her defense every single time this happens. So she drops from 80% to 60%, another Scale Enhance happens, her defense goes up. So essentially, the further you lower her hit points, the closer she is to dying, the harder she is to kill. It's kind of a weird catch-22 there. You want to make sure that you have enough people to go ahead and complete the task, because if you're barely getting her down up at that top level, getting her down to like 80%, you can probably imagine that you're not going to get the job done when you get down to 20%. Her next ability is the Petrifying Gaze. Now, this gaze comes out in front of her in a cone shape or like a fan shape, and it will do heavy damage to all of the targets that it hits. In addition, any target that this ability hits, that target will then take 100% more damage from Stenoa. So essentially, once again, don't get hit by her. Try to stay behind her, stay out of harm's way, stay clear of Stenoa because she is a beast and she will hurt you. Now, her last ability is called Queen Strike, and this is essentially similar to Varkaron, where it's a circle AoE ability, and when it goes off, you have literally almost no time to move. You have to kind of predict when it's going to happen. It will typically follow up her Petrifying Gaze. When you see the queen move, get out of dodge, run away from her, because when she jumps up and does this, you will actually have another debuff applied to your character that makes your accuracy go down. So you are less likely to hit the target when you're firing, you're less likely to actually make contact when you're swinging your sword. All of these things are bad when it comes to trying to take down this huge world boss. Ultimately though, if you guys work together, if you are able to take down Stenoa, you can get cool rewards from her, you can get absolute shield pages, you can also get the Stenoa monster core to go in your collection of monster codex. A quick pro tip for those of you that didn't already know this, once you've taken down a world boss, you can also go up to the top right hand corner of the screen, select the channel that you're in, and go to another channel. The way bosses are typically taken down in most worlds is you start in channel 1, progress to channel 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, and then so on and so forth until all of the channels have been cleared of the world boss. This allows you to get multiple monster cores every single time you venture out to do these world bosses, so it's more bang for your buck. So in addition to those monster cores, they've also introduced 2 brand new rune pages into the game. For those of you guys like myself that have maxed out 8 pages of runes thus far, there's now an ability to raise our stats even further by giving us page 9 and page 10 of runes. Unfortunately, you have to get to level 135, which is adding 15 levels on top of 120 in order to start adding runes to that 9th page. So make sure you guys are on that level grind, doing your quests, going through your storyline to get to the point where you can do your runes. Going through and doing both pages of runes will give you tens of thousands of CP, so it's definitely a worthwhile thing to take advantage of. You need runes, get those from the Tower of Insolence, and you also need Adena, which is basically gotten everywhere. Just make sure you're staying active. Another quality of life change that I find very, very attractive for this update is the inventory slots. Previously, the max was 300 slots. Now, with blue diamonds, you can increase that capacity overall. This is one of the more valuable things you can do, especially for those of you that farm overnight in the elite dungeons. You guys can now increase that slot up all the way to 400. So 400 inventory slots is the new maximum. That's fantastic. Very, very eager to take advantage of that myself. Now, talking about those elite dungeons, we have 3 new elite dungeons: the Ivory Catacombs 1, Ivory Catacombs 2, and Ivory Catacombs 3. Now, currently, I'm only able to get into the Ivory Catacombs 1. That becomes unlocked at level 128. I'm working my way up, though, and getting to that point where I can hop into the second Ivory Catacombs, and that unlocks at level 140. Now, the last Ivory Catacombs, Ivory Catacombs 3, unlocks at level 162, so there is quite a bit of leveling involved to get to that point. That is your end game later on. That's where you're going to do a lot of your farming. As you progress through the game, get that Ivory Catacombs 3 unlocked, and then just cruise to the finish line, baby. Now, as you can see in the Ivory Catacombs, there's a bunch of different new types of monsters. You're going to see a lot of scorpions. There's some pretas. There's also a whole lot of new named monsters. Several of these guys have way over 1 million hit points, and I don't recommend taking them on alone unless you're basically a superhero, which I personally am not. But we are able to take down one of these guys. You can see here as well, a lot of people will come into these catacombs and do the AFK farming. The great thing about them is that there are a ton of Evil of Blood mobs. So you guys are going to be able to farm that Proof of Blood and farm those red star stones to benefit your clan so they can do dungeons. Great, great find here in the elite dungeons. I highly recommend spending a lot of your free time, should you have it, in the Ivory Catacombs. Now let's wrap up by talking about the sieges and the new changes to like PvP and some of the things they've added to the game there. This is personally my favorite new addition to the game and my favorite part about Lineage 2 Revolution. That is the organized PvP. Now, what we can expect as far as the open sieges and fortress sieges go are as follows. There are 8 new fortresses being introduced to the game. 4 of these are going to be in Gludio, 4 of these are going to be in Dion. Now, Gludio is kind of a tier B set of fortresses. Dion is a tier A set of fortresses, and this essentially provides kind of a first, second, and third tier that different clans can go after and try to control. It's probably going to create a little bit more competition, a little bit more rivalry, but it also introduces 8 new fortresses that people can actually take control of across the game. So that's actually a great introduction by Netmarble to Lineage 2 Revolution, and these new fortresses also have rewards tied to them now as well. Every single day you control those fortresses, you will be receiving a treasure chest with loot in it. Now, each of these fortresses, depending on which one you control, will offer a different type of loot. You guys will probably have to figure out which one of those are which, decide amongst your clan, and then conquer those to get that loot. Those are great new additions to those who control the fortresses in Fortress Siege. As far as the gameplay itself in the siege, this is what I am absolutely most thrilled about, and this is the changes that were made to like open siege. As far as the altar buffs are concerned, the individual buffs, let's talk about that for a second. Previously, under the old system, if you imprinted one altar, you had a 10% attacking buff that was applied to your whole team. If the opponent got that same altar, not the same altar, but their altar on their side of the map, they would also get that 10%, and it would kind of cancel out. The way they've changed it is as follows. There's still the 10% attacking buff that you get when you imprint the altars. However, your towers on defense also get a 10% damage boost to them. So your defense is now stronger as well, and it makes it harder to get through your towers if you are in control of an altar. Now, where they've really ramped things up is when you control both altars. If you're able to imprint them both, your defense towers, once again, will be buffed by 30% this time instead of the 10% for controlling just one. 30% more damage being output from your towers, which makes it incredibly unlikely that a team that's losing bad enough to get both altars imprinted upon, they're not going to be able to get through the towers in all likelihood. Huge advantage going towards the team that controls both altars. Now they've ratcheted up a step further. The team that controls both altars will also have a 50% attack buff applied to their entire team. So you're going to be much stronger than the other clan when you are trying to attack them. It basically allows you the opportunity to group up and steamroll them moving forward to try to successfully imprint upon their holy artifacts. Not only did they change the way the buffs worked for each team, they also changed the way the buffs worked for the individual who took the time out of their day to go actually do the imprint. To try to get people rewarded for focusing on objectives in team play, they are giving individual buffs for whoever caps the altar. So whoever imprints that altar, their hit points are gonna go, like for me in Open Siege, my hit points go from like 70,000 or so with all of my clan buffs, all the way up to like 140,000 hit points. You become a monster, impossible to kill. You can just absolutely go destroy people. By the time they lower your hit points enough, you've got health potions that heal you for a percentage. Everything is just better when you are that person with the altar buff. So I had this happen multiple times while I was playing in Open Siege. Both times I was able to carry my team to victory, imprinting the holy artifact while playing as a temple knight, using my immune ability to basically capture the imprint. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. So I highly recommend focusing on the altars, picking up those buffs. The individual who has the buff, it will actually be visually indicated now who has those, so you can find them on the battlefield, focus them down, and kill them. It is very high priority for you to do. You do not want these monsters floating around, because if I've got that buff, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. So those are the new changes for Open and Fortress Siege. I am really in love with what this has done to the gameplay. Very much a fan of the new PvP system inside of Lineage 2 Revolution, and I'm hopeful that it's going to get even better. The rewards from the Open and Fortress Sieges are improved as well. Not only are you getting the stuff from the fortresses, there's also a brand new mount that you can get from doing Open Siege. You need to play at least 4 games of Open Siege and win at least 2 of those, and then you'll be getting a brand new Steam Beetle. Now, the Steam Beetle is a brand new mount. It's not a living organism such as the Kakurin and the Silver Saint. No. This thing is a mechanical car. It looks like it was built by the dwarves or something. This thing is awesome. Stay tuned in a future episode. I will be driving one around. I've got my 2 victories already. I just got to get my 4 games in, and we will have that thing locked and loaded. So, guys, that is the update for January for the new Jiran update of Lineage 2 Revolution. Level cap now 180. There are people that are already flying their way to the top, maxing out on levels. Make sure you guys are attending your clan's fires, doing the things that level you guys up. Do your sub quests. Make sure you're doing your dailies and weeklies. Reset those if you're able to. Guys, really excited with this latest update. Make sure you guys check out the link in description if you have not yet gotten Lineage 2 Revolution. That's all I have, though, for this video. This is Powerbang coming to you from my office. I'll catch you guys in the next one.